Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, February 6, 2020. Welcome to all of you. Hope you're having a bang up Thursday. Sometimes I take quite a bit of commentary if I use the positive connotation. There's some people that love it. But there's a good measure of people that do make me sometimes feel ashamed about this aspect of my life. Yes, I have a checkered past, but the thing that really people seem to grind down on, including some of my good friends, is where I live and the connotations that it is somehow a ghetto. I laugh about it a bit myself and things like that. But the reality is it's far from a ghetto. And the further reality is you should never feel shamed about where you live, okay? There's probably psychological aspects to where we choose to live beyond the financial aspects that determine what you can pay in a monthly rent or a monthly mortgage, or the fact that maybe you can't afford that and you live with friends and you sofa surf or whatever. As my friend J.K. NoCal famously says, you got to stick it in where you can fit it in. In other words, you got to do the best you can with what you have. And in the case of neighborhoods, in the case of friends of mine, some live in single wide, some live in double wide, some live in park models, nice park models within parks. Some live in fancy, dancy, over-the-top condominiums and spacious estates. But you know, at the end of the day, we all have to be one somewhere. And I don't think any of us, no matter where we live, should be shamed about where we live. Okay, it's really not what we have. It's what we do with what we have that determines, are you making the neighborhood better? In the case of the Rancho, I can say when I came here in 2011, as you guys have seen through the historical journey, through photos and other things, it was really a mess here. It was an ugly, overgrown with great numbers of trees that made it dark and dismal. And you can see what it is today, a bright and cheerful property. Even back then in 2011, in May and June, April, May and June, when I was really looking for a property in earnest, there was so many people, my realtor would joke and say, you don't want to see this property. Every person I've ever brought by here has not even gotten out of the car to look at it because they could not imagine what it could be. All they could see is what it is. So they never explored or found out that the back property, even though it was fenced off at that particular time by some metal sheds and a redwood fencing, they never got to discover that there was a whole another huge piece of land that was part of the property conveyance, okay? And they could never imagine how good the bones were on these buildings here and what could be done with a little bit of imagination and a lot of hard work, a couple of years of hard work. The result was a property that the neighbors were ecstatic to finally have somebody moved in that cared and helped upgrade the neighborhood. So the question is the neighborhood getting better? Now consider 3 months ago, a couple doors up the road, we had a house when I moved in here, was renowned as a flop house. It was a place for Friday, Saturday night fighting, heavy drug use, basically almost like a commune. It was all walled in with hedges. You couldn't see anything back there. The roof was caving in. Look at it today, some 3 months later. They have cleared that property off. They have landscaped it. They have done all the repair work. And whoever buys that property is going to get a very deep property. Same as mine, goes back in something that they can really enjoy for a decent price. Don't ever be shamed about where you live, okay? Where you live is what you make it. Now, what do I mean by the psychological aspects? We're also going to seek out, beyond financial considerations, places that we may feel not overtly comfortable, but it resonates within us that this is our comfort zone. This is where we belong. I've seen people with no money try to live the rich life, and it ends up blowing up in their faces. Okay, because why? They're not in tune with that life. They're not able, it doesn't resonate with them. It doesn't ring true because they know that they can't really legitimately make a go of that. And it all becomes what they call a Potemkin Village. It all looks good in front of, looks like a Wild West set, right? It all looks good in the front, but it's Hollywood in the back, and there's no backs to the fronts of the building. There's no depth to it. This is why the happiest people, I think, in life are the ones that you'll see are well suited to their environment, geographically, and financially, where they fit in and where they feel comfortable rubbing elbows with people that are a lot like them. And in this neighborhood, that means working people. Take a look at the street during the daytime. It empties out. The trucks, the cars, the minivans, they all leave, and the street is basically empty. But guess what? At 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., the street starts to fill up again as people come back from work. Anything but a ghetto. A hard-working place, yeah, it's on the low end of town, but it's what I call home. And I don't think you should ever feel shamed about where you live. Okay, thanks for watching and listening to this philosophical musing on a Thursday morning. Have a great day.